So this TikToker, her name's Ava, and Ava has a problem. This guy is after her with a pew-pew. Okay, so Ava is 13, she makes typical lip-syncing videos on TikTok, and people love her. She's got over 1 million followers. And one day, her videos catch the attention of this guy, who we'll call Goldberg. And Goldberg really digs Ava. Now he's older, he's 18, but that doesn't stop him. He starts trying to get her attention in the comments, it's not really working. So then he tries to get her attention by sending her a DM. Now Ava actually checks her DMs because she often interacts with her fans. So she sees his message and she replies. And they go back and forth a little, nothing inappropriate, but then he asks if he can buy a few selfies from her. And she thinks about it and she talks it over with her parents and she finally says, sure. And she sells him a few pictures that had already been posted on Snapchat. Now Goldberg is super happy about this, and that is when things start getting weird. He has her Venmo now, so he starts messaging through her Venmo account and he starts asking her for a different type of photo. And she's like, ew, no, and she blocks him on all platforms. Oh, but that doesn't stop Goldberg. He searches around and he finds Ava's classmates from school and he reaches out to them. And they agree to sell photos of Ava to him. Photos that I assume were already public. But they also allegedly sell him Ava's phone number. So now Goldberg has her number and he starts texting her and he begs her to unblock him. But she won't do it. So he sends her $600 through Venmo and he tells her it's all the money he has. But Ava is not giving in. Now at this point, things are getting a little out of hand, and she's getting scared. So she tells her dad, this guy, who we'll just call Dad. Now, Dad is a retired police lieutenant, and he is not going to put up with this nonsense. So Dad sends a strongly worded text message to Goldberg, basically telling him, don't contact my daughter again. And Goldberg gets that text, and he's heartbroken, and he's pissed off, but Dad isn't too worried about Goldberg. They live in Florida. Goldberg lives in Maryland, so they're not even remotely close. Everything's going to be fine. Until one night, Dad, Ava, and the family are asleep. And suddenly, boom, a loud bang wakes them all up. And Dad, he jumps out of bed and he runs to the front door. And there's a huge hole in it. And standing in the house is a man with a shotgun. That man? It's Goldberg. And Goldberg points his pew-pew at Dad and he fires again, but the gun jams. So Dad runs out of the house and after him, but he slams his knee on something, allowing Goldberg to get away. So Dad goes back inside the house and he gets his pew-pew just in case. And he waits on the front porch for police to get there. Before police can get there, Goldberg comes back, but this time, Dad is ready, and he points his pew-pew at him, and he orders him to put down his weapon. Goldberg doesn't back down, and points his right back at him. So then Dad shoots, and he doesn't miss. And he ultimately unalives Goldberg. So police show up, they find 2 phones on Goldberg's body with literally thousands of photos of Ava on them. Now, because of the circumstances, Dad doesn't get into any legal trouble over any of this. And despite everything that happened, Ava's family decided to allow her to continue posting TikToks, which she still does to this day. But then later, the family had to pull her out of school and start homeschooling her after they had an incident with a second stalker. Yikes. And all this happened in Naples, Florida, so shout out to Florida.